Good morning and welcome once again to your program. My name is Dapo Banjo. This is Crossfire. You're watching us live from our studio in Lagos. This is UHF 57 Wazobia Max. And I have Ishoma Gaine with me in the studio. Ishoma, good morning.
Good morning, Dapo. Good morning, Nigerians. Thank God for the rain.
All right, good to be back, and the rains are here. So it is expected that every one of us, we will just march to the market, get an umbrella, get a raincoat, a rain boot, whatever you will like, or you probably prefer, to protect you from being wet every day. Because going forward from today,
because the traffic will be horrendous. So get ready to trek.
Anyway, it already started. A lot of comments have come, you know, from almost every quarter that Lagos is flooded. Yeah. You know, everywhere is just full of water. All right, we're not alone in the studio. We have a gentleman that will be running the show together this morning. There's no other person but GBENGA Onitilo. And he's a political analyst, he's a CEO, he's just a Nigerian, he's just a pro-Nigerian, let me put it that way, really and truly. And believe you me, I'm so personally impressed that in spite and despite the weather condition, it's so rainy. At a point in time, I was almost giving up until the producer told us that it's just by Bar Beach. And so he's here with us in the studio. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to have you.
Good to be here again, Bill.
All right. We have a couple of stories that are trending, and we quickly take you through a couple of them. I will read them out very quickly, but our focus will be on, trending stories, and particularly, we will be focusing on about three main issues. We'll be talking about the controversial, unresolved issues about the 2016 budget. Why, you know, the fiscal budget for 2017 is almost ready, and but 2016 budget is not yet, you know, assented, as the president has refused to sign. And so we'll be talking about that. And particularly, one very major disturbing story is the activities of the, you know, the Fulani herdsmen. And what has been trending really, particularly, is the fact that they are busy killing people. I had another contrary report this morning telling us, wholeheartedly that on everyday basis, the Fulani herdsmen, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are being kidnapped for ransom. And that is a big story. So the victimized is becoming, you know, the victim. And that's really like a twist, you know, to the whole story about the activities of the Fulani herdsmen. And then we definitely will be narrowing down on the fuel crisis. We want you to pick up your phone and call us and let us know exactly what's happening or what is trending about fuel situation, electricity in your vicinity, and we'll be narrowing down to that. But yesterday, up to the early hours of this morning, we have a couple of stories, you know, that is really, really very interesting. I will make that available to you in a jiffy. Now, Christians guard Muslims at the prayer at the National Assembly. Christians form a circle around the Muslims as they prayed at the Occupy NAS venue in Abuja. It's 3-day, this is the third day, right, yeah, Ishoma? It's the third day of the Occupy NAS. And as a matter of fact, it is really very interesting to know that every time our Muslim brothers gather to pray, the Christian brothers actually surround them, forming a very big circle in solidarity, you know, to show that we are still a one big country. All right, so we'll talk a little about that. Then this is really very mind-boggling. EFCC uncovers another $12.9 billion, more arms deal fraud. You know, so the anti-corruption agency, EFCC, has uncovered another $12.9 billion more weapon deal fraud during the immediate past government of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. Now, it's really very, worrisome. If this is a story that is true, and already we have updates on it that a couple of people have been arrested, and some of them are already talking about what they know, about the $12.9 billion. Now, pandemonium in Enugu State, very pathetic on a sad note. We saw the gruesome killing of innocent village people or settlers or indigents of Enugu State, and it's really very sad that this is being traced to the activities of the Fulani herdsmen again. We probably will just be talking about that now. Boko Haram, strike back at the army, show of spores of war and terror. Monitor, an organization which closely monitors activities of worldwide terrorist group, posted the controversial photos tagged spoils of war from the deadly jihadist group in Nigeria. That's Boko Haram. And finally, I mean, after a very long time, everybody knows that President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, is a Fulani man. So, but finally, he spoke. So President Buhari directs crackdown on Fulani herdsmen. President Muhammadu Buhari has finally broken silence over the killings by Fulani herdsmen. The president condemned the act and directed the Nigerian army to go after the culprits. So we will see how much of this will eventually be playing out in the course of the week. Anyway, we have more stories, but because of time, if we come there, for discussion's sakes, we will definitely touch more on some of these stories. Now, Gbenga, Ishoma, let's talk about the state of the nation, and particularly, with focus on some of the issues that are really, really very, disturbing. Finally, Fidelity Bank MD was held for receiving $115 million from the former, group managing director of the NNPC, Denzani Madweke. And, information have it that yesterday at the EFCC, while in EFCC custody, he actually opened up to say, yes, he received the money. And Denzani's son is actually being used as the distribution network. So while Denzani is on the other side and the MD is on this side, and then Denzani's son became the middleman who instructs the MD of Fidelity Bank to say, this is who you give this to, and that accounts, it amounts to about 651 million naira. And this was appropriated or probably deployed to win election back in 2015, which they lost. So where are these monies? And you see, when we even have people of high, personality, and because it is the banking industry, a level of integrity is even expected from somebody of that stature. But unfortunately, it compromised. Benga.
Well, I think the greatest challenge we have with funds moving around with banks is what is even the CBN doing? How does this, is the CBN that is the financial regulator? Are you playing your role with your chief inspectors that have oversight function on all of these banks?
Commercial banks.
All these commercial banks, are they able to even track deposits, inflow and outflow? Do they even have the technology? Are they doing that consistently? Now, this is like a breach against the Money Laundering Act. Because when you have a particular fund, a level of fund that should not come into a bank, once it comes in, there should be a level of flagging that should come, and the financial institution, the regulator, should have oversight function, and people like EFCC or SF, State Fraud Unit, should be involved in this kind of issues. But now you have institutions that are not even playing their role and responsibility. On this matter, CBN is culpable, and because over time there are several issues that have been tied to the CBN. Now, you have countries when such things happen with the banks, you have bank MDs being put behind bars. You have such financial institutions being slammed because this is tantamount to fraud. It's fraudulent. It's a corrupt act because it's the commonwealth of the nation that is being played around with someone. So I think a whole lot of all these banks really need to be investigated. Are
we going to probably be narrowing it down to the incapability, or I'm short of words now, but I'm trying to say that what is Emefiele really doing? Is it capable of being able to actually, regulate the activities of the commercial banks? Do you know why? When, former central bank governor Saluti Lamido Sanusi was on seat, all the activities that took place in Intercontinental Bank, Oceanic Bank, we all know what went down with the Erastus Akingbola, the Cecilia Hebrew, and all of that. And they were able to really say, these are the things that these people have been doing that is totally against the law, the money laundering law in Nigeria and all of that. And so, I
think that, look at the problem we've had is this. Our problem started in the financial sector when you started making bankers, operational people, CBN governors. You need to really track it. All over the world, people that have made CBN governors are people that are part of that system. There is always a succession plan. You are talking about great economists. People that, but not operational people that are bankers.
So when you eventually get there, because obviously we all know that Emefiele was the MD at Zenith Bank,
yeah.
and so on getting to the central bank, there's every possibility that he knows the operations.
Yeah. But let's look at it also from another angle, because there has been reports also in the media that Mr. Godwin Emefiele carried out or helped the previous administration perpetrate certain acts in their favor.
Yeah, there was a law breach.
Exactly. So if I'm sitting down to think about all the things you've said right now, who are you going to blame specifically? Because I know that, unfortunately, in Nigeria, it's a different ballgame.
His appointment in the first place is political.
I will still blame the CBN governor, Emefiele, because when Sanusi Lamido was there, even though he was pushed, it never succumbed to the pressure of the former administration.
Exactly, but
which even cost him his job.
Exactly.
It means the integrity.
Now the issue here is we have institutions in Nigeria which unfortunately are tied to the person who is at the helm of affairs. We're talking about whoever is the president. Yeah. So, well, how can we break away from that system? How can we make institutions independent and functional, irrespective of who the CBN president is, irrespective of who the president is or the substantive minister?
The first question you need to ask is, what is the competence level of the person you are putting in that institution?
Exactly.
What led to that person being there? Was it because of the vested interests? Was it because...
His appointment in the first place was a political.
Was a political. He's representing vested interests. People that run the bulk parts of our economy. And also, you're also looking at issues of ethnicity as some of the things that drive appointments in Nigeria. Ethnicity. You look at competence. This man is not competent. He has not shown himself. A man that can convert money to dollars and take it to a former NSA director's house through the bullion van, billions of naira. And you call such a man of character or integrity or that has competence?
It's questionable.
Because why he's still there beats me, that we have a National Assembly that cannot even push for such a man to be out of that seat.
Do we actually have a National Assembly that's working in the interest of Nigeria?
Well, we have a National Assembly, but we all made a mistake of voting them in based on the change mantra, not focusing
when you say change mantra, it seems like you're trying to pick single-hand a political party.
No,
remember the people
obviously,
remember when we're talking about the National Assembly, we're talking about people from various political parties. Irrespective of the political party,
all of them leveraged on one man that we all had hope in. We all made a mistake thinking one man. Once you get rid of one man, bring another in, and they all rolled on that change mantra.
Are you saying that those from the opposition party are of better character?
That's not what I'm saying.
Are you saying
but the ruling party controls the same National Assembly.
Okay. But have we seen any move? Have we seen any direct move from members of the opposition party in the House which shows
the same ruling party is the opposition to itself, even in the National Assembly? Is the opposition to itself in Nigeria? They don't need any opposition.
So if that's the case, then you shouldn't single-hand
so what I'm saying is,
I need you to land on that point quickly.
What I'm saying is, we the people made a great mistake thinking governance is just about the president. Once you change the president, the whole country is going to change. No way. And the major crux of the matter is we are now learning is the National Assembly.
All right. It's Crossfire on channel 57. This is Wazobia Max on your terrestrial platform. All you need to do, as we've been saying it in our adverts, is turn your antenna small and you will just get us, live and direct. And this is our State of the Nation on Crossfire this morning, Matters Arising. We have a caller. Good morning. Hello, Victor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
We can hear you.
Hello, Victor. Good morning.
Hello.
We can hear you, Victor.
Okay. Please, I want to contribute on the issue of this Mrs. Desiane's money.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. When she was...
All right. If you wish, just call us back and let's...
Can I just add something on this Desiane matter?
All right, before we go on, let's quickly take this call. Hello, Mohammed. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mohammed. Thanks for calling.
Good morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, I want to contribute to the issue of this Fulani X-Man.
Okay.
Please do.
I foresee a foul play in that issue. we call them Fulani herdsmen, but to me, I believe they are the Boko Haram in disguise. Because they also try to, you know, form all sorts of disguising how they can just meet up with whatever they want to do. So the government, for me, should handle them the way they handle the real Boko Haram. They should be killed with their animals, everything. That's the way I look at it.
All right, thank you very much, Mohammed. I mean, straight to the point.
You know, this morning,
let's round up on this story. So that
let me just round up the story of Desane. I'm not so excited about what I read. EFC say they discovered this. EFC say that's not the issue. The issue is what is this administration doing to ensure that you put the controls in place for such things like this never to repeat itself. What kind of reformation are you doing within the public service, within the MDAs, within the institutions of governance that has led to the last administration being able to do things that they are? So those are the real issues. What are you doing? What have you put in place? So that a CBN governor will not carry out such acts again.
Okay, all right. Anyway, we'll quickly drop that story and go to another very important thing. And Benga, I want us to quickly, you know, address the Fulani herdsmen. Okay. Now, information have it. These men have been like forever. I met them. They have always had to move. Don't forget that their activity is extremely nomadic. They move from one location to another. They go through the forest and they move into villages and towns and states of the Federation in the bid to, you know, to access grazing and all of that. Now, that's one. Two, we also are aware that part of their normal dressing in the bid to protect the animals, according to them, ever since, is that they put some form of, you know, daggers here and there, knives and so. And I have queried this before. Before this activities about them is being, you know, is being talked about in the news, is the fact that somebody convinced me to say that they have to protect these cows. If not, people, animals can probably attack them in the forest because they're always inside the forest and all of that, even though they are back in town now. Because in my area, I see them early in the morning, still moving on our roads and all of that. Yeah. And it's already in Lagos. Unfortunately, it's in Lagos. Because most times early in the morning, the new part of the road, my 12 to Ikorodu, I see them early in the morning going through, you know, one particular area. Somebody told me when I was talking about it that they go to Kara, you know, accessing Kara, you know, going through that road. But a couple of times I've been seeing them. Now, the issue is that it's obvious that we can't trust them anymore. In our localities, on our farms, in our environment, because I'm aware, Ishama was telling me a story this morning that in our village, they created an habitation for Fulani herdsmen. They live with them. They cohabitated, you know, them until they started, you know, destroying things and allowing, you know, their cows to eat people's, you know, farm produce and all of that. Now, what exactly, the dimension, you know, that I want us to talk about is that the activities is about being regulated. And the National Assembly is working on a bill. And the bill, as at yesterday, has passed the second reading.
Do you think that bill is favorable? Do you think it's something Nigerians should applaud or say no to?
The question is... I begin to ask myself, what kind of oxymorons do we have in the National Assembly?
Okay. Irrespective of the political party.
Another question is, we are told that a lot of them are lawyers. And we ask ourselves a question. These people are private people doing their own private business. And you are now trying to institutionalize a bill to support people that are in private businesses by ensuring that a commission is set up. And the commission has the powers to go to anywhere in Nigeria and take over any land on behalf of people that are doing their own private business, to take over any land as they wish. And now, I'm glad that a Southwest governor, Ajimobi, came out clear earlier part of this week that don't forget there is there's a land use act charge. It's there. The people or the state controls the land.
Very true.
So he has said it authoritatively.
In fact, the governor of every state
controls the land. So if you want a land in my states, you must apply.
Very true.
You apply, you go through the payment, and you will fulfill the requirements and meet our condition before you are being given land.
Correct.
What is going on in the National Assembly is illegality, is something that can stir up an uprising, is something that can tear the nation apart. Whoever is behind...
And they are not being careful that, the last caller, Mohammed from Lekki, told us that they likely could be, you know, Boko Haram.
But you know,
and what this bill is saying is that take your activities to every state of the federation.
But you know the funny thing, you are not asking yourself a question. The state governors of some of the states that these people actually originate from, what exactly are they doing?
All right, Benga, before we continue, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, can you speak up a little bit, Quadri?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my name is Quadri. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Okay, well,
all right.
Yes, I want to contribute on the Fulani Herdsmen issue.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. You see, it's high time the government at all levels see this as a national emergency.
Yeah.
And I think we should stop politicizing this as...
Oh, I think the rains. I think the rains are really affecting, you know, the calls. Okay, let's continue from there. Now,
so the state, number one, for all I know, we don't have a nation. Because if you have a nation, the focus will be about the people first, the interests of the people.
Okay.
All right.
Secondly, our security agencies are failed.
How many, when you look at the number of security personnel, it's nothing to write home about.
It's not
First of all, and I remember,
it's not just about personnel.
I remember last week, I also talked about that. Could it be that one of the solutions to these issues could be state policing?
No. Beyond that, it's not just about the numbers.
Okay.
It's about your intelligence gathering capacity. Okay. You can have the numbers, but if you don't have the capacity for intelligence, the equipment for intelligence, you know, you sit down, you go to some police stations, you even go maybe state fraud unit, you meet some DSS guys.
Yeah.
And everything is always about force.
Now, Benga, I need to quickly call our attention to something. We'll take the call and then we'll talk about this. Now, the bill states that a council will be created and an appointment will be made by the president, you know, to chair that council that will eventually preside over this bill. And the president is a Fulani man, and this bill is a Fulani-related, sponsored bill. I mean, let's take this call. Let's take this. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning, Richard.
With ethnicity.
Good morning.
Richard, good morning. How are you today?
I'm cool. And yourself?
Very well, thank you.
Onitilo, how are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Good morning, sir.
Great. Please, let us, you see, I find it very insulting on the intelligence of Nigeria when this nomadic cattlemen issue is raised. At the 21st century, if Nigeria elite are still sitting down to begin to deliberate or even think that they should create grazing areas along a certain coast, question number one to them is, does that improve the yield of the cattle? Does that bring about our being beef sufficient in Nigeria? Up till now, for the past years that we've had our independence and we have been doing this grazing up and down, the cattlemen have been going up and down grazing. They have not been able to improve the yield, and every nook and cranny of Nigeria cannot get beef to eat adequately. Now, let us compare notes. Look at Brazil. Brazil's beef in the UAE, that is what they feed on. It's one of the most expensive beef. They've been able to improve their yield, yet they don't go from one community to the other to graze. Why
they have
our
ranches
elites insulting themselves, thinking that they are insulting the intelligence of Nigeria? These guys should check themselves. They don't have anything for us, and it is high time. And I think with the way they are going now, it's high time. They better be careful. And they should stop insulting the intelligence of Nigerians. We all know what they are doing. All this deliberation, all this commotion, all this confusion they are deliberately creating. Do we need it? To just tell these people to stay in one spot, improve in your yield, this is the law. You must not go to the next man's community. Is that a strategy for them to invade the West? Is that a strategy for them to Boko Haram the whole Nigeria? That's why they want to lead them to begin to bring from one end to the other. It's unspeakable of this country.
All right, thank you very much, Richard. I mean, quite insightful. Now, I want to create, just for the sake of conversation, really, let's look at it. The Fulani men, headsmen, are poor people. Obviously, from citing them, they are poor people.
But they work for somebody. The cattle is not theirs.
Exactly. That's where we're going. So it means those cattle actually belong to someone. That is the person who is actually funding them and equipping them
with weapons.
With weapons.
Yeah.
With weapons.
AK-47.
And so we have a very big problem in our hands.
Exactly.
Where are the people who the Fulani headsmen are funding for? Where are they?
We have the security operatives, like he said.
And that means many of them are behind the bill. How can such a bill? Let me tell you, before we go on the commercial break.
It went through the second reading.
Look at some of the elements of the bill. Look at some of the elements of the bill. Now, one person will be chosen to head the council. Now, the bill creates a council to be chaired by a chairman to be appointed by the president. The council shall have the power to take over your land anywhere and pay you compensation. They will just occupy it.
But you know, Dapo, beyond...
I don't want to take your comment now. We'll quickly go on a short break. When we come back, where we'll still be talking about the activities of the Fulani headsmen and about the bill, that is being currently instituted at the National Assembly, and it has gone through the second reading. We'll be right back after this.